like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength, now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules, my life destroyed, a life destroyed. Until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero? what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love.
Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valhalla Camp Hill Fortnite livestream. Hopefully all you guys are excited. I am very excited as for some of our teams this is going to be the decision maker of playoffs or not. So as we creep ever and ever closer to the decision day, the results being released. Obviously, there are some teams on our radars that could very easily take this banner for a couple of divisions. So that being said, we will transition into the teams we will be watching tonight. So the primary stream, one of my favorite teams to cast. I love watching their game. It's just so entertaining. The Honored Ones, a.k.a. Landon, a.k.a. Bloodhound, and his duo teammate, Zarek, a.k.a. ZFXTE, which I do not know how to pronounce that name. But anyway, the secondary team, a fan favorite, someone we also love to cast and we love to give them props, Big Mac Munchers, a.k.a. Chef Jack, a.k.a. Uh-Oh Stinky, and his duo partner, Sean, a.k.a. Cookie. And finally, but most certainly not least, we have the Division 1 team of Bacon&Toast, a.k.a. Brady, a.k.a. 4-Slot Toaster, and his duo teammate. Oh my gosh, I just messed up so bad. I'm so sorry, guys. Atlee, a.k.a. 4-Slot Toaster, and his duo teammate, Brady, a.k.a. BL Mace. So, with that being said, as we wind down the season, of course, we are getting close to potentially taking home a banner, potentially multiple banners. So I hope you guys are excited about that. Obviously, all of us are. And with there being some technical issues with some of the drops last week for Division 1 that I can't guarantee, but I'm pretty sure that we will have a stream next Monday of at least one drop for the Division 1 team of Bacon&Toast, a.k.a. Brady and Atlee. Excuse me. So be on the lookout for that, obviously, as we are very excited about the opportunity to hopefully watch them at least one more time if we can't get to them tonight. With that being said, let's rotate to talking about our featured team, our primary team here, Landon and Zarek. Again, one of my favorite teams to cast. I love casting them. I just love talking to those guys. They're so great. You know, really building them up, really getting to pick their brain, and them being a little bit older, you know, they have that understanding of the game and understanding of kind of everything that goes on, including the stuff up here that obviously you guys get to witness. So I always love getting them up here and getting to talk to them and all that fun stuff. And it looks like that we are dropping, I believe, I don't know what their placement is. I want to say they are very close to that banner. I want to say they're like... I don't want to put any false hope out in the world. I want to say they're in top 10, if not top 5 maybe, I'm pretty sure. So definitely hoping for 2 good performances here from Landon and Zarek as we are now loading in, and I will transition to this. And again, I hope you guys are just as excited as I am, because really there's no other team I personally would want to cast because of how favorite I am of them. So let's switch here to the game, and currently watching Zarek, aka Laser Beam is what I like to call him up here on the desk, just because that man is an absolute menace with any gun that you give him. Starting off here, looks like they're going to go to a little bit of an unnamed kind of island POI. A little bit of a far drop. Definitely trying to play a little safer this drop potentially, as they don't want to get too greedy, especially with the points that they need to catch up and hopefully secure that banner, which these guys have been working hard all season to get it. They definitely deserve it, in my opinion. So we currently just, of course, watch them fall. Looks like Zarek rocking a very OG-esque loadout here with skin, the glider, and the pickaxe. Very OG. As some of you may or may not know, OG Fortnite just came out. A lot of people have been playing that. So if I had to guess, Zarek is playing a little tribute to OG Fortnite and having some fun with that. It's like landing quite a bit lower. Potentially kind of a scouting out here going on for these two. I actually kind of love this from them. Being very aware of where people around them are dropping. And looks like we have someone drop right at their POI. So could see some early combat here. Landon getting shot at out of the air. Hopefully they're able to get to this island and get some loot. Probably going to have to push that team. Landon being so low already. Didn't even notice that. That is scary. Luckily they don't have to go super far for circle. And I know that this team has this route pretty well planned out. Which is, I think, something that doesn't get enough credit about this team is how well they are at planning out their route and really managing not only their loadouts but their materials and just their play styles in general. So finding a lot of good loot early on here. That purple SMG is going to be massive for Zarek. I know he's been loving that thing. We see some loot get dropped. Just the awareness here of each other as teammates to make sure that Landon is back up to full health, as much health as he can be before they get into combat here. And Zarek's just gonna wait, gonna break down all these slurp jugs, so that way he can wait for Landon to come join him. And he is gonna break them himself as he realizes Landon does not need them. Gonna get up to 200 health here for both of them. Or 100 shield and 100 green health. And looks like this team is going to push them that landed in front of them. Let's see what they can do. Hopefully being able to get a quick couple kills here for this team. Looks like we have Zarek already taking some shots. Missing, unfortunately. Landon pushing a little bit. Maybe being a little extra aggressive. Let's switch to his perspective. Landon just laser beaming. Does take a bit of damage. Doesn't want to get caught out here. Zarek's not super close. Looks like Landon's going to back up with his Void Mask teleport here. They need to be aware. This would not be a great way to start off. Oh my gosh, potential third party here. They're in a terrible spot at this point. They need to be so careful. Landon being one shot from pretty much any gun to death. Having the unbreakable coverage there of that rock is really helpful for them. So we're going to see Landon back up quite a bit. Let's see what Zarek does. Potential wait. Oh, apologize for that, everybody. Potential third-party use here. I don't know if those teammates were just separated or if it was an actual third party, but the bad thing about this is that now they are held in or outside of circle, so in storm as it starts to come, not somewhere they want to be. And I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to see the bandage throw there from Zarek to get Landon up back as much as possible. We might see the geyser use just potentially get the rotate, or we could see some swimming go down. They need to think of something, and they need to do it fast. The circle is ever so close to them. Looks like we could potentially see a geyser use. Landon looks like falls off the back of the island, and he might be swimming the distance. Nope, looks like he's going to use his Void Mask to teleport. Does save himself a little bit. They are going to go with the geyser here. And here they go. Both of them taking it at the same time. Hopefully not held too much from that other team. Looks like they're going to try and go wide with it. The other team was smart. They would take some shots at them. Looks like they're not there anymore. They might have been worried about rotating back into circle themselves. A little bit of a, I don't want to say lucky break, but Honestly, a little bit of a lucky break for Landon and Zarek, kind of getting free reign here to calm down, loot back up, get back to full health, and play the style of game that they want to play. Also, mats being very low for them. They need to have a free couple minutes to be able to farm up on some mats. Finding some ammo. Looks like Zarek's going to find a medkit for Landon. Potentially tries to throw it through the window, but messes up. Almost uses it himself there. That would have been a little bit of a misplay, but is able to get out of it. And we see the shots come through. Hopefully those are at someone else. And at this point, they might need to get out of here. Looting up another medkit there. One for Zarek. He's going to be able to get back up to 150 health himself, which is definitely the position he wants to be in. Zarek falling in a storm there a little bit. I actually decides not to use the medkit quite yet. Doesn't feel like he needs to quite yet. Decides to save it. Looks like they're going to take this zip. Storm just about to start moving in on 5 seconds. So they're definitely going to want to not set some pace here, but get a little bit of distance as there it goes. Again, zip is going to buy them a bit of time. And it looks like they're going to find a car, which you guys know that if you guys typically tune in to us watching Landon and Zarek, probably the kings of car movement, being so aware and so patient when they have a car. And again, we see some of those shots. Looks like we see a live mark. I don't know if that was a person that they potentially just saw. It looks like we are going to get out here. Actually, no. Looks like it could just be some loot. So definitely going to want to take the time to find that. Landon bringing the car back, of course. Luckily, there being another one there, but they're going to decide to keep with their armored sports car, I guess. They do decide to leave the katana. A bit of an interesting choice there, especially for movement. But they are going to leave it. And looks like they might pick up the Sprite here. Try to take that to a shrine to get one of the perks. Sorry, I really blanked on that word. But essentially what happens, and I don't think we've really talked about that. I don't think it's happened much on stream, so I'll explain it now. That little Sprite that you saw Landon pick up is a something that he can carry to one of the shrines that we've seen around the map, specifically like when they dropped in. And you can present those Sprites back to the shrines, and they will give you some weapons, potentially some healing items, and then essentially a passive perk, which will, some of them are you move faster with your pickaxe out, or there's another one for getting health when you're swimming. So that just having that passiveness of the awareness of those things definitely does help. Next, we are just going to see some mat management here, some farming of mats. Looks like they're going to tear apart this bathroom. This poor bathroom did not deserve this. This was so clean, so nice. Whoever took care of that bathroom actually did do a pretty good job of taking care of it. And Zarek just says, I'm tearing it apart. So we've been looking at Zarek's loadout for a little while. I'm going to go back to Landon's real quick and take a look at his. Oh my gosh, guys, I apologize. I am a mess tonight, apparently. Actually, both of them having very, very balanced loadouts. So not being too crazy in any sort of way. Obviously, you know, Landon's being a little bit more well-rounded, I think, rarity-wise and everything, but Zarek having the purple SMG, I know he loves that thing, so he's going to use that as much as he can, probably to the best of his ability. Looks like we're going to see a ping, potential rotation ping there. Oh, looks like Landon's going to eat some coconuts. Get himself a little bit of extra shield, which is, again, something that we don't see a lot, especially from the other teams. But we see this team, just the amount of of resource management that they have, that they're not afraid to take a couple seconds and break the food boxes to eat them, and just phenomenal from these guys. And they are landing being 3 away, not even needing to wait for Zarek, but using it for the medal. Matt's being much more comparable at this point. You need to be aware of the train, though. This could be scary for them. The train is actually going to stop. They're not going to check it out too much, which is a little scary. They're not going to clear train. Sometimes the teams do like to take a ride for free on that. Looks like we're going to see a bit of a car switch here just to make sure that we're at full gas and full health. Land's going to pick up Zarek, and they're going to start their way. They're going to start their trek. And around the map they go. Looks like there's some people south of them. They're actually going to find this hill. It's actually a little bit of a scary mark if they're not careful with it. We do see a shrine right there. So that beam of light that you very quickly saw right there on Landon screens, a little more southwest, is a shrine that Landon is now currently looking at and building in the direction of. So he could present that sprite to the shrine to get some additional loot. Looks like he's just going to hold on to it for now, as they have high ground. So they are just kind of chilling at this point. Oh, Circle just kind of laughing in their face, just right off the edge of their mountain. I mean, it's nice because obviously they don't have to move far, but a little unfortunate that they have to move at all. Landon here, just going to do some intel. Just going to keep an eye out for some other teams. Switching to Zarek here. Looks like he's just going to get some more material. Zarek wanting to make sure that he's comfortable with his mats. Having quite a bit. Looks like some shots west of them. Actually, it looks like they're right up on that hill. They need to be aware of that team, as Coach Jonathan is giving them some live coaching as well. Glenn's going to take a peek at him. Isn't going to fire any shots, but just going to be aware of him, make some notes. Still the shots west, southwest. We see Zarek here using the cone for as much intel as possible off the other direction. We could potentially see a rotate this way, as the shots are still over there. So we switch back to Landon here. Keeping an eye out on that team to the right. Looks like they're going to try and wait here, buy as much time as they can before they have to rotate. They might also just build and keep this high ground. It does look like Landon is in circle. Landon actually hitting a shot there. That's an insane distance to hit one from, even with the AR. And they're just going to drive away. Actually, looks like they're going to push this team. Maybe just get an eye out to see where they went. Looks like they're directly south of them at this point. It's hard to tell for sure. I've not seen much movement. Looks like someone pinged. I'm not totally sure, but someone sees something. Oh, looks like we do see some build directly south of them. No shots yet. Them playing very patiently. Looks like they're going to try and take this high ground, then go for a third party. Oh no, a little unlucky there for Landon as he gets out in a bad spot. Landon going to take some shots. Now Zarek also finding some shots. Oh my gosh, Landon laser beaming him. Hitting so many shots. As long as they keep the pressure on, this could be a really nice kill for them. And it looks like they are going to push. Has to be aware This is a little bit of a third-party scenario. They want to make sure that they're not the ones that get third-partied here. Nice. A good knock there from Landon as he gets the final shot. Want to make sure they don't get too aggressive. And we are going to see the thirst or the finish, whatever you like to call it. The confirmation of the kill there for Landon. What a great teleport right into the car. A little unlucky as he was so close to the car, but a great teleport to put himself right in front of it, right in Zarek's path. And now they're just going to get out of Dodge. Thank you for the 1 kill. We'll see you next time. Need to be careful of Seaport here. Looks like there could be some shots going on in it. Need to be aware of Storm, as it is creeping in. Obviously, they are in a car, so they are chilling at this point, but honestly, probably don't want to rotate into Seaport, especially because Island is south of them. Need to be aware of that, too. Some shots directly in front of them. Looks like they're just going to drive right into the build, see if they can't find the combat, but do decide to get out. Zarek trying to find some shots, potentially at the end. Put some pressure on him. This is not a very great zone for them, and they are low on fuel. Landon has to be aware of this. Switching back to Zarek here. Looks like Zarek's going to get some free shots at someone just standing out in the open. Doesn't end up finding too many. And right next to them, we're going to see them push this, I believe, this solo. As he tries to run away, Zarek's trying to find him as much as he can. Doesn't have a lot of ammo in his gun. He does not fully get out. They're still able to apply some pressure on him. They need to be aware, though. They are kind of standing out in the open themselves. Landon going to drop some ammo for his teammate. Decide just to kind of back up here. Take this high ground area. Not overcommit on anything. Someone very close to them. Could potentially taking shots at their build. And is. They have to be aware. They have to sense this pressure. Looks like it's a car. Zarek hitting him at least once. Lighting the car up. Getting a second shot on him. Zarek's separating here a little bit. Needs to be aware. It does get a good couple of shots though with the SMG. Decides to go back with his teammate. Doing a great job at managing the car. Them finding a knock and finding the kills too. That is a great elim for those two. And they're going to have some loot here, including some ammo. Zarek taking a lot of damage on the hit from the car. Hopefully being able to get out, being able to regroup with his teammate. Landon being right next to him. They need to get back up to their high ground though. Being able to buy a little bit of time here. Switching to Landon. Landon is also right back with his teammate. Wow, what a great change of momentum for them. And we see the Sprite giving them some shield. More so Zarek, as he's the one that needed it. We see someone trying to push them. Landon being caught out, reloading his gun. And Zarek gets knocked. And a little bit of an unlucky switch. And an unfortunate elimination there. Honestly, a good drop though. Maybe switching a little bit from their typical game plan. I think Landon there just being a little caught out with the with not having ammo in his gun, having to reload, bought the enemy team a lot of time. Some updates on the secondary team, aka Big Mac Munchers. Not a great drop from them. Heard that they placed 32nd. Definitely hoping to come back stronger for the next drop, and hoping to see a much better performance from them, as they are very close to potentially securing this banner. And we're going to check in on our tertiary team, Atlee and Brady, aka Bacon and Toast. So it looks like they are still in drop, so we're going to switch to them, and they are still alive. Looks like they are competing at this point for a very high placement, currently being 15 other people alive. And taking a quick look here at loot and kind of, loadouts in general, at least Atlee's loadout being very good, having very nice loadout of weapons and materials. Taking a quick look at Brady's as well here, also having a very nice loadout. These guys are probably as comfortable can be. We see a rotate here with the sword. This was something that was just talked about earlier this practice. Was rotating with someone having a sword and someone having the mask. Them being called out a little bit of a distance. Luckily, Atlee can just throw his void teleport to get to Brady if he needs to. But some building very close to Brady. We're going to see Brady take a lot of shots. Potentially here get a knock. Surprised Atlee hasn't made his way over yet. We see a teleport come through. We don't know where it goes. Atlee right with his teammate now, Brady. We're going to tune in real quick just to see what their comms are. Okay, looks like we're having some technical issues with the comms. We'll check that out after the match. I apologize for that. We'll have those fixed for drop number 2, but his team needing to be aware of Storm taking a lot of unnecessary damage here. Luckily, Brady is able to recover. Same with Atlee as well. And we see the teleport from Atlee come through. He's going to box up. A lot of shots being fired at them, though. Atlee having the heals here, Brady not having any. Brady is able to jump or to get to his teammate. Brady also being very low on mats. This is not the situation that they want to be in towards the end of the game here. Hopefully being able to secure a kill to be able to loot themselves back up a little bit. Oh. Brady gets so unlucky and gets knocked. I think Atlee's going to have to do it on his own. Definitely not the spot that they want to be in. Atlee now caught in Storm, taking a lot of unnecessary damage. Luckily still has a bandage, but doesn't have the time to use it as he is getting peppered. Does have one right outside of his build. Does do a really good job of buying himself time. Wow. Atlee just being so patient. He knows that he does not have the capacity to take risks right now. And he is doing his best to make sure that he's not taking any, especially for his teammate. Waiting till last minute to go to rotate into circle here. Looks like he is going to get into it. Kind of uncontested. Obviously the other team probably aware roughly of where he's at, but he does get some shots fired out on him. And unfortunately gets eliminated. Heartbreaking there from Atlee and Brady, as we saw a really good 7 plays. I don't know if they got any kills, but those are the type of performances we expect to see from them. Looks like a 1 kill for Atlee and Brady, as I very quickly saw right there at the end. So really good drops from Landon and Zarek and Atlee and Brady, obviously hoping just to continue to get better and better. And again, for Jack and Sean, a little heartbreaking, especially because of the circumstances, but definitely hoping to be able to clean some things up. And if you guys just give me 1 second, I'm going to check out some Discord settings here just to make sure that next game we can tune in. There we go. Now it looks like it should be able to be fixed. And it looks like we are going to have a post-game interview of Landon, the GOAT, one of my favorite players in the arena. Landon, talk to me a little bit about that last match.
Honestly, I think it went overall pretty well. It was just at that very end there where we communicated afterwards. Neither of us realized they took the right wall until it was too late, and we didn't have time to rotate out, and that's what occurred. So honestly, it was just better communication on our part, just knowing who's doing what, because we're both doing the exact same task when we should have been holding two different parts down, and that was the biggest mistake we made.
Yeah, so we saw almost, I don't want to say completely different, but a little different of a play style from you guys tonight. Is that an increase in confidence, the awareness of pressure of playoffs? Talk to me a little bit about what's going through your guys' minds.
I think it was just because it's playoffs and it's a new season, so we wanted to kind of try something different, like a new kind of, not necessarily strategy, but just we wanted to try a somewhat different approach, especially with how the chapter's different and everything. We just think this approach fits better, just slightly more aggressive, and not just pushing only reboot vans, and actually third-partying and taking advantage of those opportunities we had.
Yeah, you guys being a very spatially aware team, doing a very good job at being aware of, yourselves, what's going on around you guys. So it's really interesting to see how that, kind of fundamental skill kind of translates into this more aggressive play style that we saw tonight. Finally, we saw some really great picks. We saw a lot of great stuff from you guys there. What are we hoping to transition better into drop 2?
Just slightly better communication, those 2v2 situations, because that's honestly the part where we have the least amount of experience, because a lot of the time it's either complete domination or we get destroyed, and there's not a lot of room to communicate there, but that was one of the experiences we had where we could actually communicate how to fend off this said 2v2. So that was one of the things we could have played better and probably won, versus there wasn't really a way out of it or something like that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. Good luck on drop 2. We'll be watching, so hopefully you guys do a little better.
All right, you want to bring Zarek up here?
Yes, please. Alrighty. Here he comes, the laser beam, the man, the legend, Zarek. Zarek, talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling after that first drop.
Honestly, it was pretty good.
Okay, so I asked Landon the same thing. I want to get your opinion on it too. So we see you guys play a little bit more of an aggressive play style, at least, the playoffs, and really since the season has changed. Is there any specific reason why you guys are trying something different?
I personally, because I've gotten more used to the weapons, so I'm more confident to go into fights than I was last week where we only had a day.
Yeah. And so we, one of the other things we talked to Landon about that I honestly want to talk to you about is your guys' spatial awareness, right? So your guys' awareness of each other and what's going on around you. What is going on at some of those monumental moments? When we talk about that fight of you guys taking that high ground on the mountain right there and seeing that team kind of off to your right. Is there anything specifically that you guys are talking to each other about to make sure that you're not caught out or you guys don't put yourselves in a bad position?
Really, we just tell each other where the teams are and if we should shoot or not. Because it's either we take the shots and we kill him, or we take the shots, they know where we are, or push us, and we're dead.
And so we see a little bit of a true, almost a true duo role here, right? We see you guys play this very fundamental game of, Landon does his role and you're doing your role. What has changed in that format now with the new season and obviously all the stuff changing?
A lot, honestly.
Okay.
Especially, last week, again, we couldn't really communicate because what he's told me is that he didn't play as much.
Okay.
So his IGL skills are amazing, but when it comes to fighting with the new stuff, it's...
Absolutely. And we've talked about it. I've talked to Coach Kyle about it. I've talked to you guys about it. I've talked to everybody in this arena about it, I think. And the very unfortunate realism that you guys continuously have to face of getting a season update right towards the end of the season, if not in playoffs. Finally here, I will ask, what are you guys hoping to improve into Drop 2?
Better communication, like sticking together. Because I went to get Lou, got beamed. He had to come save me.
You know, your teammate said the exact same thing. Would you believe that if I told you that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. And we're excited to see Drop 2, so good luck. All right. As you guys heard, and again, one of the reasons why I love casting this team, and honestly, I just love watching this team. I love talking to these guys. Is the awareness and the on the same page. I know that's not the proper term for it, but the amount of same page-ness, you know, that these guys have for not only the game but for each other. These guys are so aware. You know, they're saying the exact same things during the interviews. These guys are so similar. That's why they are such great teammates. We see it in game, we see it out of game, and it's something that, you know, as a coach, you know, and obviously we'll get Coach Kyle up here later to talk about it, but has to feel good. You know, these guys have so much faith in each other, so much trust in each other, even with some difficulties of new season changing or not playing as much. We still see that full trust and commitment come through, them being fully on board with each other. And I cannot say enough how much, you know, these guys continue to impress me, you know. Granted, I'm not a Fortnite coach. I don't coach Fortnite. I'm just a caster up here who plays Fortnite casually, but I am continuously impressed by not only how these guys play, but also how they come up here and they handle themselves in front of the lights and the camera and all this fancy stuff. And I'm just in awe consistently of that too. And we are currently loading into Drop 2. So as we get in here, I will switch screens. Again, for those of you just now joining, this is drop number 2 of the Holland Campbell playoffs. Week 2, Landon and Zarek, a.k.a. the Honored Ones, their team name. Let's tune in. Let's see what they're going to do this drop, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Jonathan giving some last-minute advice as they load in here. Something that we love to see, especially as a fellow coach here. Ooh, a little bit of a hot drop their spot is. They're going to have to be aware. Luckily, because it's unnamed POI and it's kind of on the island off to the side, many people probably not going to it. Many people probably not knowing there's a lot of loot there. So this could work out really well for them. This could also be very scary and dangerous for them. They're going to have to be careful. And someone else landing at their spot. They're going to have to loot up quick here. Zarek finding a legendary SMG and absolutely beaming someone from across the beach. Oh my gosh, are they going to find the kill? Doesn't look like they're able to find it, but they will be hunting for that player. Still keeping an eye out. Oh, wow, we see one of the new chests there. And right there, we see the perk. So right now, their perk is that they reload weapons faster. That is going to be a massive game-changing perk for the two of them, especially if they can make it to these middle and late games, which these guys are so consistent at doing. That is one of those perks that is an absolute game-changer. See shockwaves there. We do expect Zarek to take those. Zarek being a fan of the shockwaves. Also having a lot of shield. We're gonna expect to see him give some of this to Landon. Pardon me. Stumble on my words there. You're farming up some mats. And Coach Kyle being in call. We're going to tune in early and see what they're talking about. See if I didn't fix the problem.
I did that kid for a few times.
Yeah, I did the scope version, and I just finished off.
Oh, God, over at, like, this hut, and then he was over there. Hit him 24 a few times.
He died again.
Disgusting. Well, hey, no, gravity's useful. We take those. And then where are you planning on rotating to? Do you guys have a plan, or are you just rotating again?
We usually always rotate up to here, hit this gas, hit there and there on the way up.
Cool. Did Coach Jonathan talk to you guys about dead side rotation too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Love it. You can say, because if he has, great. If not, I was going to talk him.
Actually, I'm gonna grab scope.
Be careful with that solo that's up there.
Yeah. He was one spraying at us last time and almost killed us both.
If
It was such a free fight, and then he just randomly started spraying me. To be fair, it's good on him, though. That's what he should be doing.
yeah.
I'm gonna keep grabbing brick and wood as we're walking up. We have to kind of walk up faster here, because the storm is much further inside.
We could use geyser again if you want.
Honestly,
You're
the
already
right up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll just use it to get to you faster.
Wow. Just. I'm speechless. I am speechless. I'm always speechless with these guys. Lost for words. They're just always on the same page. I don't know how. Wish I could be like that with my friends and teammates. Typically the one yelling at them, but these guys just so aware. Looks like we're gonna see the group up of the team, and I heard. I don't know if you guys heard from from tuning into their audio, their comms, but they did actually get that kill. Looks like they did get it to gravity. So that being a huge way to start this game off for them. Starting early, starting with a good first kill, not needing to panic as much as they start to get into combat because they know they already got one. Looks like they're going to do their best here to loot up. Zarek always taking such an aggressive loadout. I'm shocked by some of the things that this guy carries. But he's so confident, and Landon has so much trust in him that it just enables him to carry these crazy aggressive loadouts. And it just doesn't matter because he gets the kills. Zarek doesn't need a long-range gun because he can do it with the short range. And when he does have a long-range gun, he's just as deadly, if not even more. They're going to continue to tear apart this gas station to find as much brick and metal as they can. Storm is pretty close to them. They do have to be aware of this. It looks like they're going to get in a car and drive away. Something that we love to see from them, honestly. Something that we expect of this team. Have to be aware of power here. Looks like I don't know if they saw someone or if they're seeing some loot or something, but we see a little bit of the new movement system there. Zarek just scaling that water tube, that oil tube container, just running on the wall. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of a rotate here into Magic. Also, a really good rotate from them, especially because Medallion being very close to pumped power. Definitely a good rotation circle from them. Them actually now so close to them. Could potentially find a third party here on the Medallion holder. Looks like they might just try to drive away. They are going to try and distance themselves from that Medallion. Potentially try and pin them into Storm here. Should be a really good play from Landon and Zarek. So you see them yet again decide to get this high ground. We expect to see probably some building up here. Looks like they might get back in the car and drive away. Landon's going to do a little bit of scouting here. Not in any rush to drive away. Again, we could see the hold here. Potentially the hold of that Medallion team if they're not already in the circle. And caster prediction is correct. We are going to see them box up. It's Eric here looking for a lot of inso. We're going to switch to Landon for a little bit and see what his loadout's looking like. Very, much more Landon predictable loadout here. You see very, very close rarity and much more of his play style, which is what we love to see. So this team carrying so many healing items this drop, making sure they do not get caught out with those, the lack of those, I guess I should say, as they did last drop. Trying to be so aware of this medallion circle and where these guys could come from. As they could pick off the medallion team and then pick up the medallion. Yes, it gives away your position, but could be a bit of a game changer for them, especially as they transition here into now so mid-game and the late game. Again, both of them being very close to 200. It looks like we are going to see them start to climb the mountain here. Looks like they're on foot. We are going to see a void teleport come out here. Looks like that team not taking too many chances. Looks like they are on a motorcycle. We could potentially see that start to scale the mountain. And they're going to take a lot of shots. Oh my god, what a laser. Oh my gosh, he's in white. Can they find the knock? Zarek does find it. And they're going to get the finish. What a great push from Landon and Zarek. Absolutely changing the tide of momentum for that team in a mere millisecond. A lot of loot for them now. They are going to be able to pick and choose what they want. We're going to see the Void Mask get picked up. Making sure that they're both at 200 before they decide to leave that loot. These guys being in a really good spot here. Some shots look like West. I think they're going to try and find potentially that solo or potentially another team here. Could be third partying. Not needing to push into circle yet. These guys being very patient, knowing their game. Also having the car right there behind them. They know they got time to kill. We still see that medallion holder being so close to them. Potentially now a different team. Looks like we are going to start to see him change his position a little bit. But he's going to get pushed into Storm here. And they're still at the top of this mountain peak. Oh my gosh, they saw him. I know Landon saw him. And they're going to laser him. And they're keeping him in Storm. As long as they don't overcommit here. No one grabbed the car. A little bit of a misplay from Landon and Zarek. Unless Zarek's in it right now. He is not. Landon potentially trying his best to find the kill. Zarek is going to be able to get in the car. Going to be able to find and pick up his teammate. And they are trying to find this guy. Hitting some shots on Landon. They're going to group up. They need to get out. They're undecided on what they want to do. They're going to see a Void Mask teleport here. They're taking a lot of shots. Looks like they are just going to disengage and get away. We could potentially see the holding here of Circle. They're going to get over this bridge quick as there's a car directly in front of them. Zarek's going to take a lot of shots. They're going to ram into them, that poor McLaren. Landon doing his best to make sure his teammate has shots. And an update on the secondary team, Big Mac Munchers. They are still doing much better this drop. Still alive. No eliminations yet. I know they're hunting for him there, though. And we could potentially get to see them, depending on how Landon and Zarek do. But them looking like they have ice in their veins. They are cool. They are calm. They are collected. And they are hungry for more kills. We're going to see potentially a car switch. No. Looks like some cars around them. They don't want to get caught out. And they're just going to gas their car up. Gas and heal it. Switch back to Zarek here. And we're actually going to undeafen a little bit as we start to creep towards the late game. We'll probably do it again. Let's see what they're talking about.
Hey, you heal down real quick first. Can you give me a big pop real quick? There's not a team behind us, so.
Yeah.
Oh, another mech area here.
Oh, W hiding spot.
Okay.
Nice. Love the W hiding spot.
Alright,
All right.
now let's go. No, see?
Oh,
Nope.
right there.
Yep.
Looks like they're just waiting too.
I'm gonna go around. They're chasing us, by the way. They're hard chasing us. I'm good though. I'm the professional
just-
driver.
Yeah, lead them on a Mary Chase and have just Derek spray their entire cars out of
Our
existence.
car has more HP than theirs.
Yeah,
Let's
that's what I mean.
kind of do that car.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, I'm cooking.
We see such an awareness of themselves and of each other. So we see Zarek laser beam that car. This team being very hungry for the kill on them. Landon and Zarek not afraid. Oh no. Catching themselves out a little bit. Not in a great position for Landon and Zarek to be in. They're going to hit a lot of damage. Need to be sure that they're playing this fight well. Zarek hitting some good shots on at least one of them. We are in a build fight. Landon taking some shots. Keeping high ground. Neither of them need to panic at this point. They have high ground. They are secure. They see the edit. They know what box they're in. They can just laser beam it. We see the Void Mask teleport there. Looks like they decide not to take it. Landon going to reload a little bit. Buy Zarek some time to pop a big. They have to be aware of the Void Mask teleport. Landon, they're taking some unnecessary damage. Landon being knocked. Not great scenario for him. Zarek now by himself. Hopefully the other team didn't have a lot of time to heal. If there's anybody that can do it, it is Zarek. He's got my faith. He's got my trust. I know he's got his teammates. This is all on him. If Zarek pulls this off, I'm losing it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going wild. We see the Void Mask. I don't know if he noticed it. He's going to decide to just get out, though. The other team is going to take some shots. He has another shockwave. He's going to get into the Tesla and drive away. Wow. Unfortunate he has to leave his teammate, but decides there to go for the placement. Could potentially circle back to get the reboot card. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like he's going to find his healing loot that he needs. Someone right in front of him. He's going to turn it around real quick and go back the other direction. Hopefully the team didn't follow him. He's going to find another mid kit here. He's going to try and pick up. He does. Looks like he's going to switch the passenger seat here to get himself back up to 100. Zach there playing a little patient, not needing to do anything. And honestly, this is one of my favorite aspects of this team that does not get talked about enough. They're post-death comms for each other. Landon, even though he's dead, checking his map, keeping his eyes out, being in an extra set of eyes for Zarek, creating such an awareness for these two that I don't want to say are better as one than they are two, because obviously you want to have two people alive, but it's almost as if the second person is still alive. Zarek here by himself, feeling a lot of pressure as we see some shots northeast/east of him. Has to be careful. It's just going to sit in this box and wait. Gonna take a peek, try and get some intel. Looks like we do see some building up in front of him. Does decide just to close the box. Doesn't want to take a lot of unnecessary damage here. And this is where we see the placement points come in big that they are getting. Eric doing such a good job at securing those for his teammate. And unfortunately for them, it's hard to say if this is enough, especially with Zarek running low on mats. That is a huge factor that we have not talked about, that I have completely missed until now. Only having 40 brick and 300 metal. Obviously he has a lot of metal, but not probably being as comfortable as he could be. Zarek playing so patient, has to be scared, has to be worrying about other teams pushing into this box, potentially taking free shots on him, but keeping his ground, doing his best just to wait. He does have to go quite a distance. He should still have the car next to him if it wasn't jacked. Zarek's still just playing, he's doing his best to be patient here. They hold, and here comes Storm, and Zarek gets out of it quickly, using the ground to be able to help him out. Getting a lot of shots, gets the knock. He is going to get the finish, going to grab as much loot as he can. Now he's in a little bit of a bad spot though. He does get out of Storm, but still has a long way to go. Getting called on a tree, taking some unnecessary damage. Luckily, he does have 2 meds. He can afford to use one if he needs to. Trying to get as many mats as he can. Getting some shots taken on him. Doesn't have the time to wait, though. Oh my gosh, someone teleporting right in front of him. And Zarek one-pumping him for 79 damage. Oh my gosh. What a kill from Zarek. And now he's got the Void Mask to be able to buy himself time. Zarek, not in circle yet, did teleport a little bit farther away, has to be aware of the team on him, is going to try and get away from them. He needs to be calm, and unfortunately gets eliminated. Oh my gosh, that is heartbreaking from Zarek's perspective. Oh, that was a big loss for them. And we are going to switch very quickly to Atlee and Brady again. Actually, we're going to check out the Big Mac Munchers, see if they are still alive. And it looks like they are. Both of them still alive in the same drop as Landon and Zarek. Loadouts probably not being ideal, not in the position they would like them to be in. But with this team, they do crazy things. They're going to take some shots on this player. Not having a lot of ammo to waste. They need to be careful. Looks like we're going to see them try to get on right on the edge of circle here. Hoping for a first place victory for this team of Big Mac Munchers. Again, Chef Jack and Miko. Uh-oh, Stinky being Jack and cookie being Sean, a.k.a. Miko. We see a lot of damage. Jack's going to find one. That's such a huge knock, especially as they are solely placement points at this time. And we see some more laser beaming, not finding any elims here. They need to be aware of that storm moving, and actually they're in a perfect position for it. Trying to find as many as they can. Again, not having a lot of ammo. Looks like they're going to start to build up a little bit. Try and maintain that high ground. And I believe that they are the highest in the lobby right now. They have some time. Jack taking a lot of shots, but getting beamed from the side. Now, just Miko, and he needs to be careful. Jack, luckily, very close to him. He might be able to get the res here. Looks like he is going to go for it. A lot of shots going to get taken at the box here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. He's going to try and stick it, though. And he does get it. Looks like they're going to try and get out quick. We could see them zip. They decide not to. Looks like finding one there. I don't know if it was from gravity or what, but doing a great job. Need to be aware of circle coming in. And unfortunately at this point, positioning not being on their side, trying to do their best to stay out of storm. Jack getting knocked again. Miko cleaning him up though. Sean doing his best to heal up here. Does rotate back into circle. Does a great job at builds, but unfortunately does get eliminated. A great third place finish from Jack and Miko. And now we are going to switch to Allie and Brady, who I also believe are still alive. Sorry about that, everybody. Having some misclicks there. But they are still very much alive. We see Coach Kyle in their call. Let's tune in quickly and see what they're talking about.
What about the root?
Two. Back.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Here.
Right?
Mantle here. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, just keep locking it in, guys. Keep locking it in.
Here, do you want to break the center one and then we do this? Perfect.
See you guys.
Then if somebody comes in this building, we just jump them.
Was able to all that point for like 50 seconds, and so I just came barreling through and killed her.
Did you guys play together that game more than you did the last time that you guys played against that team?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people fighting.
The first time that I watched you guys do that, man, that was a scattering game. Oof.
Yeah, that means more people die, which is good for us. So.
Yeah, probably
17 teams. There's a lot of solos. Alright, you have sword, I have...
Yeah.
With a lot of solos in, guys, the one thing to be noted.
Okay, taking a little break here from the game. We're going to have some interviews with Jack and Sean. Looks like we're going to start with Sean. Sean, a big second drop. Talk to me a little bit about what happened there.
It was like really nice because we got 3 kills and also 3rd place. And I didn't have that good loot at the end, but it was fine because I was still able to pick off some people from height. Because we had high ground like almost the whole entire game. It was really nice.
You guys doing a really great job at prioritizing keeping high ground there. What's going through your mind there, especially once Jack gets down and you're starting to feel that pressure?
It was like scary because I need to hold the ball and revive him at the same time. So I need to spam like 3 buttons at the same time, which does not sound like a lot, but it felt like a lot because he was spamming my box.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get to watch, but we heard about a very unfortunate drop in drop 1. How does it feel to take that, some unfortunate circumstances and turn that into, like you said, a 3rd place finish with 3 kills?
Nice, because we went from just 32nd to 3rd. So.
Absolutely, and hopefully a banner is in your guys' future.
Hopefully.
That's what we're hoping for. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're going to talk to your teammate here and see what he has to say about it. Alrighty, now we have Chef Jack coming on up, stepping into the kitchen.
Hello.
Jack, how we doing? Talk to me a little bit about those drops.
The first one, that was like our warm-up drop because we died off spawn because we tried playing more aggressive because we still had a game that we could do bad on and it wouldn't count. So we tried like getting a lot of kills and stuff, and it didn't work out. But in our second game, we played well. We had great positioning towards the end game, and the only reason we really lost that is because of when I got knocked. I got like really low, and we didn't have heals and stuff in that end game. But we managed to pick up 3 kills, and I think that can suit us into winning a banner.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, that's what we're hoping for.
A third, a second,
personally
fifth.
predict a banner in your guys' future. But what happened specifically in that first drop that made you guys realize, like, what, this wasn't it for us? We need to go back to our roots and play our game.
Yeah. So we were gonna end up playing our game, but we got someone really low to the point that he was basically 1 HP. And it looked like a solo. We didn't see his teammate anywhere. So as we pushed, Shaw knocks the one that was low. And then we basically we weren't really split up, but we were like not fighting together. So we went on to a 1v1, and he got, since we didn't have the greatest guns off spawn, he had like a purple shotgun, and he like headshotted both of us and killed us. And the sad part is that he was really low.
Okay. So and we talked about the hopefulness of the banner in you guys' future. Are you going to be staying up tonight? Are you going to be able to sleep because of the anticipation of that?
Probably.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time up here. And I'm rooting for you guys. I want you guys to bring home a banner. So it's always great to watch you guys. And again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a nice day.
You as well. Alrighty, everybody. As we heard there from Jack and Sean. Now tuning back into Atlee and Brady, who are currently in combat. Get back to them very quickly. Currently watching Brady. Looks like they are going to be able to take the one down. Brady, they're getting knocked. Atlee has to be aware. Atlee taking a lot of damage. And unfortunately, right as we tune back in, almost Caster's cursed. That is going to end their game as well. Wow. A little unfortunate there from them. Again, and a little bit of a Caster's curse. But now we'll come right back. Now you guys will get to talk to me. And we'll get to have some more post-game interviews. So we have the GOAT, Landon, as he steps up. Landon, talk to me a little bit about that second drop and how things went for you.
I think it was a lot better than our first drop, definitely. Sadly, my teammate already left, so I can only speak on his behalf. But I thought overall we both played very well. Even when I died, I was constantly call-out pings. I honestly think it went overall very well, just in general. Even after I died, I think it was still went pretty well. I think the biggest problem was, again, kind of a similar problem, but I think we faced it a lot better than we did the first time in terms of that 2v2 situation. But it was a medallion team. They already had usually better loot than us, and it was just a difficult fight to face. We just had to heal, so we kind of had to box up, and then that was allowed them to take advantage, and we couldn't really retreat, so it was a more hard to win situation than our first one, but I think we still did it pretty fine. We got one out, and we were able to get 8th place.
Yeah, so, and one of the great things that I just don't think, even up here, out of up here, that doesn't get enough credit, especially from you guys, because you guys do it so well, is that post-death management, and we saw you do it there at the second drop. Can you give me a little bit of an insider look at what's going through your mind and what you're doing to help Zarek as much as you can, even though you're dead?
So the biggest thing I'm looking for is there a medallion team? 'Cause that's obvious. I can just look at the mini-map. So we already know where one team is, or at least one person. Constantly look at their screen, see if there's any items they miss, any materials they can find, suggest cars, suggest pathways, because I can see... I'm the eyes of the sky. I can see where Storm's heading. I can see backways. I can see where there's the least amount of gunfire. And I can just try my best to estimate what the best path is. And it's even better because I know that Zarek has a lot of trust in me. Because even then, like, he was in the box. He asked, what should I do? He asked me, what should I do? And I think we took the best course of action. He was able to secure 2 kills and a couple placement points for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know he ended up getting out, but I want to talk about, you got knocked, and then eventually thirsted. And we saw Zarek kind of almost hesitate to take that 2v1 fight, and eventually we see him shockwave out. Is there anything in the moment that you're telling him in that IGL role to make sure that he's still thinking of, or that he's not getting caught up in the moment?
I just made sure to tell him, only take this if you know you can win it. Do you know you can win it? Do you know you can win it? And if the moment he says no, or even barely says yes, or just get out. Unless you're that confident and just know exactly how you're going to play it, then just don't.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for us up here. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Again, I always love watching you guys. I have to give you guys some credit. You're probably one of my favorite teams to cast. So it's always great to get to tune into you guys. Have a good one.
You too.
All righty. And looks like the man, the guy, here he comes. The part-time Fortnite, part-time Valorant player, Atlee. Atlee, talk to me a little bit about those drops.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, no, I can't hear you.
Sorry about this, everybody. We're having some technical issues here. Some Bluetooth issues. There we go. Looks like a little bit of a faulty connection there. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me a little bit about those two drops.
So the first one, we were kind of like down bad both games. We had a pretty bad position, and we just tried to make the best of them. Second game, same thing, bad position, and we just got pressed by multiple teams. And
You know, we saw, especially towards the end of that first drop, you guys get separated a little bit. We saw Brady teleport away with the Void Mask. What are you guys talking about in that moment to make sure that even though you're apart, you're as together as much as you can be?
we're just trying to like talk, like I'm telling him to wait so then I can get to him, and then we can make a rotate from there once I get to him. So yeah.
And obviously a lot of pressure on you guys, and obviously, you know, we still have that drop coming next week. Is there anything you guys are hoping to do last minute changes or tweaks to be as best prepared for that singular drop as we can be?
I think we should just try to rotate earlier, like more ahead of zone. Maybe try to get center zone and just hold kids. And, yeah, just do our best.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time up here, and we look forward to watching you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I am going to have a coach interview with, the guy, the winningest Apex coach in the country, ladies and gentlemen, and now he coaches Fortnite. Coach Jonathan, talk to me a little bit about some of your feedback for, we watched every team, so whatever team you want to talk about, I'm open to talk about.
Okay, so for my first game, I was coaching Landon and Zarek, and I'm sure we heard you guys leave the call, but after the fight. So what happened with that first drop is simply just communication and trying to do too many things at once, right? So after we took an advantage in a situation to where we were able to kill a team rotating underneath of us. Actually, in fact, the car flew off the cliff and we blew it up midair, and both those players died. So the goal there was to get loot because, we had just spent the time rotating in. We were taking a lot of damage, establishing our spot in the end zone. And once we got that loot, we got keyed afterwards. And a big thing when you're getting keyed and you have to heal off of a reset is communication within the box. Okay, so we're putting the heals down. Which walls are getting sprayed out? Who do we need to hold? What ended up happening is the boys were holding two different parts of the box at the same time versus actually holding your ground, and they were pressured into the box and they ended up dying. So that just goes. This communication goes a long way. Just your idea of who's holding what. Second drop, I actually got the pleasure of coaching Jack and Miko. Okay. And that game probably was the most by-the-book game of Fortnite we could have ever played. The boys are pretty antsy, sitting up on top of God Spot or the God Mountain for the longest time. 4 or 5 zones just sitting up there, just antsy, establishing your presence up on the hill. Going forward after that was the pools. Fortnite, we love the pull zone across the map from wherever we're sitting. We made a play to steal another team's car. We didn't have rotation because we would have to slide down the mountain and run it at everybody. We stole a team's car, went down the mountain, and got ahead of everyone that we would have had to slide down with. And we were able to hold people out. And that's where kills started to come in. We had teams going underneath of us. We were late. The boys were doing a really good job focus firing and killing teams underneath of them. We were getting kills. And then there was just the last pool where we couldn't really bring a car with us because the zone is microscopic, going through box to box. And after Jack got lasered, taking advantage on high ground, there's a team holding height, and as soon as he ended up and sat on a ramp, they lasered him. We were able to get that reset and going in. We were a little bit behind on the rotation because we had to do that reset, and because Jack couldn't heal properly going into that, he just kind of ended up getting stuck behind in zone.
Yeah.
So it was left to Miko after that, and he was jumping in and out of boxes, taking out as many people rotating next to him as much as possible. I think when he jumped out of the box, rounded the tree, and two-pumped the kid, I was like, oh my gosh, go Miko, go. And the kills started coming in. He really made that 40 HP that he had, put that into a lot of value. Getting third ended up out of that. So that was a great game to coach. Very, very fun to watch Miko cook, so they say.
Yeah, so is there anything, going back to that fight, especially because I don't know if maybe it was panic or what, but we saw Miko in that very stressful scenario, especially after Jack gets knocked. Is there anything you're saying as the coach to make sure that Miko's not panicking and to make sure that he's still doing what he needs to do?
So the biggest thing when it comes to panic is uncertainty, right? So if you are repeating comms and the strategy in which to go reset, which is something that Jack really helped with, surprisingly, as the guy being down, was coaching him through the revive setup, whether he's holding the wall and the res at the same time. Crazy enough, I haven't been in a situation as a coach to where I saw that happen. So Jack asserting his comms over my own to make sure that Jack is getting that res was a big thing. And then honestly, once instinct kicks in, which is kind of where Miko went crazy, was just instinct coming in. So once you settle down the panic and the call is calm, and then instinct kicks in, is where the boys really go in. So honestly, it's just repeating what needs to be done. That way someone's head is like, the game plan is there, because if there's too many things going on and nobody has a clear-cut plan, then panic settles in. Nobody's doing what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting to talk to Miko a little bit and Jack as well. We heard from them that they were a little experimental drop one, maybe, and that's why it wasn't as lucky as they were hoping. And drop two, they played their game. They played a style that they're very much more comfortable with. Is there anything that you're doing when like, oh hey, this is the way you guys want to play? Is there anything you're saying to keep them in that mindset of, all right, relax, like this is your guys' game, like you got it? Any real feedback?
Yeah, so once a team's able to establish their macro and move in towards the end game, it's something that's very important, especially in a battle royale setting where you have to be consistent as possible because there's so many variables that create RNG.
Yep.
So situations that are out of your hand. So when they changed drop spots, found that one drop spot where a solo was landing and bullied him off of there. Afterwards, they all they had to do was just sit there and farm their POI. They were leaving there with full wood, almost full metal, which is very surprising from a POI because metal's the strongest material in the game. And you're walking out of there with full metal, you're kind of set for the end game. And then afterwards, they just rotated. Now, obviously, zone they got circle gifted to them on their end of that adjustment POI, which is honestly an amazing thing to happen. And they just took the car up and sat up there. So when teams are able to establish a landing spot and create their macro, it makes things a lot easier to set up for the end game versus running around with not a clue what you're doing and trying to adjust from there.
Of course. And of course, I think we have to mention that team hopeful for a banner, hopeful for you and Coach Kyle's third banner as a duo for Fortnite coaches. And I mean, we can talk about it a little bit. You're up for one for yourself for Apex, so of course, congratulations for that. And
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Hoping to bring home as many as possible. I think that's going to be it for me. So if you don't have anything else to say, then you're good to go. Thank you so much for your time up here.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
I love being
course.
up here. Honestly, just shout out to the kiddos for the consistency this season, taking what us coaches have to say to heart. And everyone's learning at the end of the day. So when we are able to apply that and the kids are keeping level-headed and honestly just speaking their mind, the words of the kids are very important too. So we never want to bog them down or suppress them. So if they have something to say or something that they could help us with, these kids play the game a lot, So everyone needs to be a team player. Everyone needs to just consider each other, and the kids. Honestly, shout out to the kids for very consistent and learning process, making it a lot easier for us coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. Greatly said. Couldn't have said it any better than myself, especially you guys having definitely the younger group and getting to experience them a lot more.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to get to talk to Coach Kyle. I don't know if that's in the cards or not. Well, we'll have to see. But of course, if he's free, I would love to talk to him. I don't know if you can maybe
do we have a free Coach Kyle?
Poke around behind the scenes to.
Do we have a free Coach Kyle? Oh,
we have
a free Coach Kyle.
Looks like here he comes.
I will hand the crown off.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you so much.
Of
course, thank you. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Play his music. Here he comes. Coach Kyle.
Except everybody can see me, so
Welcome.
I'm not quite
Welcome
as cool.
back.
Thank you, Coach Christian.
How are you feeling after a slew of great drops tonight?
I'll be honest, I am feeling very happy. I feel like a broken record. I've said this so much, and I'll be honest, I'm over there talking to other people, so maybe Coach Jonathan has already said this. I feel like overall this has been the strongest Valhalla season for Fortnite, period, full stop. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think what you and Coach Jonathan have done for a lot of these teams, and we see the consistency from a lot of these teams, really shows.
It was one of the things that, like, and this is weirdly enough, it's like one of my favorite things about the job is before every season, Coach Andrew and I will sit down and we'll be like, who do we think works together? And usually we're living rent free in the other person's brain because we're like, hey, do you think, hey, I was thinking the same thing. So a lot of times, like, again, having paired these kids up very deliberately, to encourage that kind of social emotional learning, the sort of personality growth that we're really looking for, and then to watch them put the hours in, put the effort in, it's awesome. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, obviously we want to take home a banner. I don't know a single person that's like, gosh golly willikers, I can't wait to lose. Like, no one is like that. But again, the most important thing, at least for us, is just trying to get these kids to a point and to a place where they are not just like comfortable being friends with each other and playing with each other, but comfortable being athletes at the highest level of whatever game that they're trying to do. So again, our aggregate, our average, our median, however you want to,
it's only
rank,
going up.
Yeah, the rank
it's only going up.
It's already going up. So yeah, I'm very, very, again, banner or no banner, I am incredibly happy with how the season has played and how the kids have performed.
Absolutely.
So,
if I can be biased here for a minute,
you can be biased.
If I can lay one on the stream real quick,
please.
I think, if my opinion means anything, Landon and Sarah gotta stay together.
I
love those guys as a duo.
I do too. And it's one of those things that, like, I love it because they bring out like such a different skill set in the other person. Like tonight when I'm live coaching them, Landon is essentially like playing Too Fast, Too Furious with like a Tesla Cybertruck. And at one point he just goes, I'm not going to take a single shot. I'm the designated driver. And then he flips the car and Zarek just goes, why? And he's just like, nope, let me cook. But it's so fun because, like, Landon gets a chance to sort of flex those macro level decision making that we talk about and we harp on all the time. How do I make a strategic rotation? How do I make a decent engagement? He gets to flex that, but he gets to flex it with a player who's like, it's almost like the brain and like the entire musculature system where it's like Zarek's like, I'll execute. I just don't want to have to think about where I'm. Just point me in that direction. But the
just help me get there, and I'm there.
Exactly, and the mutual respect they have for each other is just like, it's one of my favorite things to watch. All of our teams too. Like, again, this is like one of the seasons where I don't think there was a single team that wasn't like friends and respecting each other and like making sure the other person is okay and checking in and like being supportive of the other person, not just as an athlete but as a person. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, well, and it's funny that you bring that up because that was actually getting to talk to the both of them after that first drop, and they both of them said such similar things when asked such similar questions. It's like, are you guys like, are you probed in each other's minds that you're just like feeding each other information, or what is going on?
They kind of are. You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever like watched Nat Geo and you see the pictures of like the alligator and then the little bird that like lives in the alligator's mouth and kind of cleans the spaces between? Like, they're so different, but they work so well together. And they're just like, and you look at them both and they're just like so happy to be in those situations they're in. Like, it's awesome to watch. And like all of the teams this season have been. I'm going to give Brady a huge shout out for what is it? I'm sure Coach Jonathan talked about it because both of us were sitting there like poker faces on, but in truth like, wow, like the crazy rotation that he did with the wind sprite was just such a cool move. And to hear him on the comms and doing things, because Atlee was like, how the heck are we going to get out of this? And Brady's like, I know how we're going to get out of it. I'm gonna slide, build, wall, find this thing, chuck it down. You're gonna go, I'm gonna go. We're gonna be fine, and we're fine.
Yeah. So transitioning into them, I wanted to talk to you about it. They have one more drop. We'll see another drop on Monday.
One more drop.
Is there anything last minute that you guys are going to help prep them for to make sure that they maximize their success
at this stage in the game? And this is something I've told Brady and Atlee to their faces, so I'm going to tell you guys too. At this stage, they are probably the two most consistent players in terms of their drop scores, in terms of their kills, in terms of like what I can expect from the two of them as a team. So if there's anything I'm going to prep them for differently, the answer is probably not, because I want them to keep the consistency, especially because now we have an extra drop where that consistency matters more over more games, right? This isn't like one game and we have to do it. We're counting 3 drop scores, so boom, boom, boom. I get 3 out of my highest 5. That's great. So for me, the consistency is the one part of the recipe that I don't want to tweak. If there's one thing that I'm hoping for, not something that like we're specifically going to change. If there's one thing I'm hoping for, I'm honestly hoping for Brady and Atlee to hit that pocket where, again, they're usually very consistent, but they're usually very defensive, except sometimes in those moments, there's like they hit a little pocket where all of a sudden Atlee and Brady gets like, it's like they ascend, the eyes start glowing. They just get this in their heads where they're
God
like
mode.
They do. And actually maybe that is the one thing is working on is the mental.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing I keep hearing, especially Atlee's like, I'm in shambles. I'm like, stop saying you're in shambles. You're in the middle of a match. You have 80 health.
Yeah.
You have a full clip. You're not in shambles yet. You're not dead. You're in shambles when you've been eliminated. That's fine. So that's probably the one thing I'm working on because I'd love to see them, ascend in that moment, get the mindset of, no, we are built different. Let's go for it. Let's stand on business. Let's push these people down. Get off of our map. Get out of our builds. Get out of our game. Like that's what I want. And so that's the one thing I'm going to work on a little bit, but just talk to them a little bit about it. And I want them to act like it's their game because when they act like when they act like it's their game, they crush. Yeah. Just get out of the mindset that you're already in shambles. No, like I'll take Brady and Atlee over just about anybody, man. But they got it. I just need them to be. I need to be positive. I need to be strong.
110%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time up here.
Oh my gosh, I was always Coach Christian. I will. I'll miss our chats over the fall season.
And,
but hey, we get a winter season soon. So.
Yeah, but hey, you get to be up here tomorrow.
I get to be up here tomorrow, and I get to cast Overwatch.
Yes.
Overwatch.
Let's go. But anyway, everybody, that is going to do it for us here at Valhalla and Camp Hill. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in, for watching, for showing us your support. And like you heard myself and Coach Kyle talk about, Overwatch tomorrow. Coach Kyle and Coach Maddie will be casting. You guys will not have to deal with my ugly mug. You guys are lucky for one night. But thank you from myself and every single person here at Valhalla and Camp Hill. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 7:15. All right, have a good night.